In this video, I'm going to break down 5 reasons why that Google Ads almost always is going to outperform when compared to Meta Ads with regards to return on investment. And when I say return on investment, I simply mean cash in on the front end versus cash out on the back end with regards to revenue and profitability. So as I mentioned, there's 5 main reasons why you can expect a greater return on investment from Google as opposed to Meta. And it all starts with the platform. So first of all, let's think about Meta as a platform when compared to Google. On Meta, it's where people go to be entertained, okay? People go on Instagram, they go on Facebook. They're not really looking to purchase. They're not necessarily in purchase mode. But if we think about Meta as a platform versus Google, Google is a search engine. It's where people go when they have intent. They either want to know an answer to something or they're potentially looking to purchase something. Of course, if they are shopping. So the key difference there is that where Google is a search engine, people are actively looking for the products that they want to purchase. Whereas Meta, you're building out creatives, choosing to display to a particular audience or just testing broad in the hope that the person you're showing this ad to is going to resonate with it and lead them to your website and potentially purchase, which is why Meta is called interruption-based marketing, because you're interrupting that user from scrolling on the platform. Whereas Google, people are actively going there to look for things. So that's one key difference. And why that's important is because Google has much more purchase intent behind it. And I'm going to speak more on this in the second reason, which is qualification. So I kind of covered that a little bit there about the difference between the platforms in that Meta is interruption-based marketing, whereas Google, people are coming and already searching for particular products. So in that sense, they're self-qualifying themselves as well. Okay, let's just say I'm going to Google and I'm going to type in grey suede loafers for men. Okay, I'm clearly looking for a particular product. Then as an advertiser or as an e-com business owner, you can then choose to show someone an image of a grey suede loafer that shopper can then click on and learn more about and potentially go on to purchase. That's the benefit of product listing ads. So you have a product title, a product image, price point and description. And the user can see all of this information before they potentially click on your ad. But there's much more intent and they're much more likely to click on your ad because they're actively searching for the product. So they're self-qualifying themselves. There's much more intent behind the search term, as opposed to me just choosing to show an image or a video of a grey suede loafer to someone on Meta. So Google has a much higher intent when it comes to self-qualification, whereas Meta, you're very much relying on the creative, the audience, and of course, your pixel. The third thing is demand. So based on what we've just mentioned there about interruption-based marketing versus high intent self-qualifying on Google, on Meta, you're very much creating the demand. Not to repeat the process again, but you're choosing to show an ad to someone based on your belief that you think they're going to enjoy or like the ad enough, or it's going to spark enough interest and intent for them to then click and purchase. Now, where you're using video and image-based creatives, you can almost create demand. You can show someone a picture or a video of a product that they may or not have already been thinking about buying, and you're able to essentially use that image and video to create your own demand. Whereas on Google, you're leveraging existing search demand. Okay, so you can use a tool called Google Keyword Planner. It's free if you have a Google Ads account. And let's just say, for example, keeping on theme with the grey suede loafers, I could type that into Google, or Google Keyword Planner rather, to determine how much search demand there is in a particular location for someone searching for grey suede loafers. So let's say I typed that in and there may be, on a monthly basis, on average, 10,000 people in the UK searching for grey suede loafers. I then know that, okay, there's 10,000 people looking for this particular product, so it's very likely that I can capture some of that search demand. Whereas Meta, you don't have access to those kind of insights. You're creating an image or video-based creative and choosing it to show it to a particular audience. So you are very much creating your own demand. So in some senses, there are pros and cons to both, right? Google, you're going to get a greater ROI because there are people already looking for your products. But in some senses, you can be limited by the available search demand. Whereas on Meta, you have the ability to create your own demand and essentially scale in that sense. So difference there and a potential pro versus con. But the fact that people are already looking for the products allows you to leverage existing search demand, which is why you can get a greater return on investment on Google as opposed to Meta. Now let's talk about cost and billing structure. Now, it still surprises me that a lot of people don't realize this, but I think this should be hopefully a bit of a sobering thought for you, in the sense that the way in which you're billed on Google Ads versus Meta. On Meta, you pay per view, okay? You're dictated by your CPM. If you're currently testing on Meta, maybe you're bringing a new product to the market, you could see a very high CPM, and unless your click-through rate and your conversion rate is good, i.e. your creative is very strong, resulting in a high conversion rate and leading to a good ROAS and profitability, then you're screwed, because you're paying per views regardless of whether or not someone is intent on actually purchasing the product. On Google, you pay per click, which is also why it's known as PPC advertising. So think about this then. People are on a search engine, that is Google, looking for a particular product, i.e. grey suede loafers. So they're self-qualifying themselves, they're already showing that there's high intent. You also choose what search terms you want to show your ads for on Google, whether that be search or on the shopping network. So let's say, okay, I sell grey suede loafers and I want to advertise to someone searching for that term. I'm then putting my ad in front of someone who's actively looking for that product, plus I only pay if they click on the ad. So you're immediately saving any wasted spend as well. Like, that's not to say that someone specifically searching for grey suede loafer is going to convert, but it's much more likely that they're going to if that's what they're searching for and that's what I'm selling, and we put two and two together. Plus, you only pay if they click on the ad, and when they see your ad on the shopping network, they can see your product title, the image of the product, as well as a product description and a price point. So before they even land on the page, they're also seeing the price point and further self-qualifying themselves. This is extremely powerful, and not many people seem to be aware of the difference between Meta and Google in that sense, okay? Meta, you're dictated by the CPM. Google, you pay per click. Now, lastly, let's talk about insights. I think a few of my friends who are scaling on Meta may disagree with me on this point, but even they will say the same thing, okay, when it comes to strategy. The media buying process has very much been removed from Meta these days. And I've put a quote here, just sort of half joking, but it's very true. The amount of times I'll hear people just say, okay, when you're testing a new product, set your budget to $50 a day, set your targeting to broad, and if it doesn't convert, kill it and refresh the creative. Now, naturally, I'm not a creative person. I wouldn't describe myself as being creative. So unless you're very, very good at creatives, or you have the money to be able to outsource your creative to a creative team, you're going to find it very difficult to scale on Meta, and you're going to end up spending a lot of money testing, killing, and refreshing creatives. Like, that's just the aim of the game. Like, if you're on Meta, you know how important the creative is. It used to be a little bit different back in the day. When I first got back into Meta 4 years ago, you could really dial down on interest targeting and get a very well-crafted ad in front of someone who's directly going to resonate with that ad. And there was much more media buying involved in that sense. Now, Google, you can still do this. You have access to the search term data. You can see exactly what people are searching for, what search terms are triggering your ads, which search terms are resulting in conversions, which search terms have a decent cost per conversion, and you have the ability to adjust your bid at a search term level, an ad group level, or even a campaign level. Not a campaign level, but a product level and an ad group level, and you can obviously adjust your budget at a campaign level. But you just have insights and access to so much more data that allow you to actually almost be like a data engineer. Like, my background is engineering. Before I got into Google Ads, I was an engineer for 4 years. So there's so much available data that you can actually use and leverage to your advantage to ultimately scale your Google Ads. So those are 5 key differences there. And hopefully that explains why you're always going to get, and I say always, there are sometimes exceptions to the rule. Maybe there's some people getting crazy high rises on Meta and really good marketing efficiency ratios. I'm not denying that, but you're almost always going to outperform on Google Ads with regards to Meta when it comes to return on investment. Now, before I exit this video, I just want to share a little bit about my community. So inside of the Google Ads Ecom Academy, which is a community that I've created, teaching anyone how to generate sales using Google Ads with no prior experience needed. This is where you want to be if you're looking to learn Google Ads specifically for ecom and you want access to pre-recorded videos, you want to be able to ask me questions, you want to join weekly Q&As, you're going to get all of this inside of the Google Ads Ecom Academy. I'm just in the wins tab here, and you can see that everyone is absolutely crushing it. Alex generated 47,000 Australian US dollars in 3 months. Sasha is absolutely crushing it with his current setup. Within his first month of joining the academy, he added a screenshot here, and he also did 35,000 euros. No prior Google Ads experience, literally just watched the content, joined my weekly Q&A calls, and is absolutely crushing it. Hassan joined and about a month ago posted his first win where he got his first sale. Robbie got great results within his first month. So as you can see, everyone is absolutely crushing it. Inside of the community, what you'll get access to is the classroom section, where I have separate modules on marketing fundamentals, complete modules on standard shopping, Google search performance, max display. And inside each of these modules, you'll get video breakdowns showing you absolutely everything you need to do to get your campaigns set up and profitable. So if you're interested in joining the Google Ads Ecom Academy, the link is in the video description, and I'll see you on the inside.